Hello YouTube, welcome back to my channel. My name is Neo. So glad to be back. New set for fall. I know my voice is a little bit hoarse. I teach full-time during the day and I'm always yelling, so my voice has just been like gone since school has started back in school in person. But to this new set, we've got a return client. She hasn't been with me for so long, so I was so excited for her to come back and get her nails done. And we're doing something different. We're going with a different shape, different length, a really cool fall vibe for this set. So I was super, super excited to kind of work on it. And just kind of, I think this set kind of really, like, maybe not even in the video, but just after, in hindsight, I guess, looking back on the appointment with her, just being proud of myself. Like, I only started doing nails about almost 2 years ago now, about 1.5 to 2 years. And I'm just really proud of the progress that I've made. It's just a reminder, a really cool visual reminder, actually seeing my videos on YouTube of like how growth actually happens, you know? You remember starting something and then you recognize where you are, but kind of seeing the progress happening slowly is something we kind of just overlook. So it's really, really cool. And I encourage you with like anything that you're doing or inspired to try to really pause in the moments and just look around and be like, yeah, I'm really doing this right now, which is really, really cool. So to get started, as per the usual, sorry for that like rant, but for the usual, I sprayed her down with some alcohol, pushed her cuticles back with this cuticle pusher, and now I'm just going in with my sanding band. I did go in with a diamond skiver bit to kind of get up under that epinicium area, really, really lightly. This is a coarse sanding band by Young Nails. I have the speed of my e-file all the way down to the lowest possible speed, and I'm using the lightest pressure. This client did have some ridges on her nails and was concerned with the health of them. So I did my best to really, really not file off. You see I'm doing like an extremely light dusting. I'm just etching the nails so slightly so that whatever product we put on top will have something to adhere to, just a rougher surface, but I'm not digging down and removing multiple layers of that nail bed. Now I'm going in, because she was a little bit dry around the area, with my diamond ball bit. I have sped up the speed quite a bit to about a medium to high speed, and I am only using this on the skin. I'm not putting this on the nail plate. You will for sure, because it's round, give the client rings of fire. And again, I don't want to damage her actual nail, so this is just going around, sorry that it's out of frame, around the cuticle sidewall area, sometimes under the hyponychium, if it's a little bit high and or dry. But I feel like this is just a great step if you're someone who is a little bit uncomfortable with using cuticle nippers or scissors or things like that. These diamond bits are so great for prep. Now we're adding some tips. So I'm going in with these really cool, I don't know if I've actually ever used these on my channel. I think I might have on like a practice set on my practice hand, which I actually found recently and was like, damn, like I spent all this money on this practice hand and I don't even use it. So I'm probably gonna try and start using the practice hand to film. But these tips I actually got from my local nail supply shop. I was purchasing a whole bunch of stuff, just like restocking, and these were at the counter. And they're really cool. They're natural, curved coffin tips, and this client in particular requested a curved nail. It is kind of ironic because we did cut them down short enough so that you're not getting the curve, but she was, I was just excited to kind of use these because I've never used them on a client. But as you can see, they do have that talon-esque shape to them, so they do curve. They're not necessarily a deep C curve nail, but they have a curve in the side, I guess, angle of the nail, and they are a coffin shape. So I'm just applying them to the very tip of her fingernails. They don't have a well, and I don't really remember what the brand is, but I'll try and link it down below. But I did get it especially from my nail supply shop, and they get those items from like anywhere. But just making sure that they are being placed straight So what I do to ensure that I get a straight tip application is to look down the entire finger, not just the fingertip, because most of us have a crooked finger or two, and making sure that the tips fit sidewall to sidewall. As you can see on that thumb, it fits completely. You don't want the tip to be too small or too big. That will just lead to surface breakdowns, and that's not what we want. So like I always do, I always clip the client's right hand, which is the left on the screen, and then I use that as a guide to clip the next one. This nail clipper was dull. It was not working, so I do change that out because it was annoying the crap out of me. So I got a new one, nice and sharp, no problem. And we wanted to do a stiletto pinky, which is really funny because when she requested the stiletto pinky, I was like, someone commented on a video and was like, is this a New York thing? And I was like, I don't know, but it's like really dope. And now she also wanted a stiletto pinky. So I just use my straight edge clipper to clip for length, and then if I know I'm going to be doing a stiletto, just clip the sides just so it helps me out, so I'm not filing all of that product away. Also, they were a coffin tip, but we're cutting them down significantly, so it looks more like a broad square, not even a tapered square. She wanted more of a coffin shape, so I will go in with the same clipper and just clip the sides a little bit before filing, just so that I don't have to do too much of the actual hand filing. To hand file, I'm using a 100, 180 hand file, nice and light, not even a 100, I think it's a 180 actually. And as you can see, that stiletto pinky, I don't like to do a super sharp kind of triangle shaped stiletto. I think that might be a different text aesthetic, but I like a more broader kind of the width of the nail bed and then slowly tapering in with like a rounded edge. That's my, I like that shape of a stiletto, but just taking it easy. I also don't file to a super sharp point right away because when applying acrylic, I like for it to, kind of maintain that shape, and then you can make it super sharp afterwards. But if I make it really sharp now, then I'm losing the base that the acrylic is going to sit on versus having that and then making the decision later. Nothing crazy, just taking my time to shape these tips so that we have a good foundation to then lay our product on. For the rest of the fingers, they are going to be a tapered square to coffin shape. It's not going to be a tight coffin. She wanted it just to be a little bit more tapered than a tapered square, which I loved. I think it came out so great on her fingertips, on her fingers, I guess. But I don't think I showed in the video, but I do use my straight edge clipper to kind of clip the sides just to help me out so that I'm not filing for my whole life. But yeah, just using my hand file to also kind of get the shape that we want preliminarily so that I don't have to do too much filing afterwards. Now I'm going back in with that same sanding band, and we are just giving a light blending to the tips. I just want a mostly seamless transition, and I'm just scuffing up that area. I also use this for a moment to kind of remove the glue that's laying on the nail bed. When I do apply the tips, there is a bit of glue that kind of oozes out, so I just use a sanding band to also kind of scuff that up so that we don't lose any adhesion there. And it's time for prep. So I'm going in like I normally do. This is the Mia Secret Dehydrator. I'm gonna go in with the Mia Secret Extra Bond and then a light coat of the Young Nails Protein Bond, just to make sure that we have good adhesion. There you go. I'm on the second hand. This is the primer from Mia Secret, and then the Young Nails Protein Bond. I usually try to focus that on the back portion of the nail around the cuticle, because that's usually where my clients experience lifting. Anything that I can do to kind of just help this set last as long as it needs to for this client works for me. Alrighty, we're up to the fun stuff. So we are going straight in with this colored acrylic. I know I'm not laying down a clear. I wasn't sure that I was going to see this client again, at least for a while. So I knew that she wasn't going to come in and be like, oh, let's change, where I would have to do like a full file down. I knew it was like a one-off, so I didn't even bother with a clear acrylic. But I'm using a brand new color that I just recently actually got that day. Like the mail arrived and it was there, and then when she came I was like, I'm gonna just use this new acrylic color. But this is Almond Cookie from Sugar and Cream, and it honestly reminds me, it looks very, very similar to First Nude by Not Polish, which I love. I would say Almond Cookie's a little bit warmer, just has a warmer tone. And it looked so good against her skin tone after the fact. Like I was just looking at her hands, admiring her nails. It's so weird, like as a nail tech, like look at my hand. Obviously, like these are not the nails that I wish that I had, but I have to have them short for a little bit. I'm always like jealous of my clients when they leave. I'm always looking at them like with envy, like, damn, you leaving here with these gorgeous nails and I'm walking around with these, with these, you know, stubs. But I think the color was really, really gorgeous for her. So getting started with the stiletto nail, you did see me remove a bit of the excess. That's pretty much how I figured out how to do a stiletto. For the square tipped nails, I usually am able to kind of pat back so that I don't have to fold over any product. I feel like I've gotten really good at that, not wasting the product. But for stiletto, just because it is super sharp on that edge, I don't know what's going on here with this bead, but just because it's super sharp on that edge, I just find that I have to like just pull the product off of that pointy tip. So we are going to be building up all of the nails, all 10 fingers, with this gorgeous Almond Cookie color. I am using the Mia Secret monomer and a Chiaroscuro size 14 brush. I did purchase a 16 and used it on a different client, and I'm gonna say it's too big for me. I know I was talking hella trash. Well, not trash, but I was like, nah, this size 14 is too small. It is smaller than I'm used to, but the 16 is bigger than I'm used to. So I need like a size 15 Chiaroscuro brush, but I'm using the 14 because I was like, I'm not gonna mess myself up with the 16, which is just really funny because I remember I was like, oh, I need a bigger size brush, but I don't think they make like a medium size or like half sizes, you know what I mean? But yeah, I'm using the Mia Secret monomer and just going in with this gorgeous sugar and cream color, just making sure in terms of application that you are focusing on building up structure where necessary, especially for these pointer fingers. Well, not pointer, but like the stiletto nails, almond stilettos, those pointier shapes. The stress points are a little bit different just because when they are when clients are like using their nails, tapping their fingers, the pressure is going to be distributed differently on a pointy nail versus a square based nail. So it's just really important to apply the product in a way that creates really good structure for them so that they don't get like micro fractures or cracks in the nail, or the nails just kind of break altogether. So that's basically what I'm doing here, being as careful as I can. If I do flood the sidewall and cuticle area, you see there, just use the sharp edge of your brush. I do pinch my brushes. I do like that flat shape. It does help me in my personal application. I have used round brushes, like when I was in nail school, we used rounder brushes, but I do prefer a crimped brush. And for these square nails, as per the usual, I'm just going to be doing my regular application, as many beads as necessary. I'm not someone who's like stuck on 1 bead or 2 bead or 3 beads. As many as necessary, just making sure to pat that product back towards the center of the nail, maintaining that shape that we filed previously for, and then just doing a good job to have a smooth application. So definitely just check this out, watch along as I'm working through this acrylic with Almond Cookie by Sugar and Cream. So after my acrylic application, I like to go in with my e-file. I'm going in with this medium grit bit. I don't know, my brain stopped for a second, but this is a medium grit bit. I get it from Amazon, no biggie. You can get bits from like everywhere. But basically I'm just using it to debulk and smooth out the surface of the nails. You can see there's a bit of a curve to the tip, but we did chop off most of the curve. We did have a laugh about that because she was like, no, I want a curved tip. And then we cut it down and it wasn't curved anymore. But I am basically just smoothing out the surface of the nails. I am getting nice and tight, or as tight as I can, around the cuticle and sidewall area to thin that out, seal that area, and then basically running the bit up the length of the nail so that we don't have any lumps or bumps. Occasionally you'll see me run my thumb down the nail so I can feel anything, but basically you just want to clean up the shape of your nails. I don't know what's happening. I'm like, girl, keep your hands still. Just smoothing out the surface of the nail, removing any bulk where necessary, and then just making sure to clean any product that might be touching the skin or anything like that. I have my e-file at a fairly high speed. I would say medium to high speed. Can't tell you because my e-file has no display or dial for me to know, but it's just pretty much by feel. I would just advise using e-files, especially if they're non-safeties, at speeds that you feel that you can control. You don't want to have the bit spinning around the client's finger. I know that that was something that I experienced a lot when I first started doing nails. Also, you don't want it to kind of cut the client. Like, I enjoy using non-safeties. It's just really important to be cautious and in control when working with bits that could actually hurt your clients. So this is a step that I've recently started doing, and I love it. I'm going in with another diamond bit. This is a prep bit. I turned my e-file up even higher just because it's a diamond bit abrasion, and I needed to kind of eat through a hard acrylic product. But basically I'm using it to kind of work the sidewall and cuticle area, also cleaning up any additional dead skin that might be there. But basically I'm using it to seal that area so we can see a really nice and tight application of that acrylic right around her nail plate, sidewall, cuticle area. I just find it really cleans things up for me and gives me like a super flawless finish that I've always kind of been looking for. So this is what I do after I do my general e-filing for smoothness. And it's time to sharpen up these shapes. I do have my 80/80 hand file out. So that means I mean business. This is the point where now, especially with this stiletto pinky, where I'm gonna decide on the actual shape. Do I want it to be super sharp like a triangle? Do I want it to have that kind of round, pointy shape that I personally enjoy? And that's what we're going for. But basically using my 80/80, it's a super stiff hand file. The stiffer the file, the less work you have to do. The harder the grit, the less work you have to do. Do be cautious when working on a client with Be cautious when working on a client, especially with lower grit hand files. They're super abrasive, and you can actually slice into their skin with the sharp edges. I've done that before. I've done it to myself. So I make the mistake. So you definitely don't have to. So just be cautious with that. But my main focus at this point, I did a fairly decent job at the acrylic application in maintaining the shape that we set from the beginning. This is just to sharpen up that shape. I do really enjoy a super sharp looking nail. So this is basically what I'm doing here. It's also kind of why I like to e-file first before hand filing. I find that e-filing kind of softens the shape of the nail, and I like a super sharp nail. So that's why the order is the way that it is for me. And then in going in that up and down motion, you see I'm squeezing the crap out of the client's nails, just so that for safety, you don't want the nail to kind of wobble up and down, kind of pulling away from that nail plate. Super painful. I've done it to myself, but nothing crazy. Just hand filing all of these nails to get a beautiful sharp shape. And then because we're going to go in with some gel polish application, I'm just using this buffing block to kind of buff the nails on the top and the bottom. Honestly, I do the bottom for the clients just so that it kind of dulls out slightly the bottom portion of the nail. It's super, super sharp down there, and I don't want my clients to kind of cut themselves or even like poke holes in their leggings. I've definitely done that. And then buffing the surface of the nail because we are going to go in with some gel application and kind of want to make sure that it's super smooth but has a tiny bit of texture so the gel has something to stick to. So I'm spraying her down with some alcohol. We can see the beautiful application and shapes of these nails. Love a stiletto pinky, like that's just a vibe. And I'm just using my manicure brush to clean up any debris and remove excess moisture. I love doing this. It just helps me to get set for that next step in terms of gel application. So we did spend some time deciding about colors. We were inspired by a design we saw on Instagram, but we totally changed it. The only thing that we got from it was that we wanted to do stripes down the center of the nail. I think the design had like royal blue, yellow, hot pink, and orange, and you're going to see that the colors are totally not like that, but there was inspo there for sure. We actually sat on Google. I know she wanted like a sage kind of deep green, and then we actually looked up color palettes on Google. So if you're someone who's starting off with nails or just kind of in a rut where you're like, I don't have any inspiration, look up color palettes on Google. You might find some really, really cool things that might inspire something in you. We did that and I thought it was really, really cool. So just getting started, I am going to be using all of these gel liner brushes that I've been amassing in my collection. I feel like every day I buy a new one on Amazon. I love them so much. We're going to be using, I can't tell you which ones they are, but I know I have like super generic colors, just like regular gel polishes. I have a color changing set. I bought a glow in the dark set. I have a glitter set. I have a metallic set. I have them like all over the place, and I love, love, love these gel stripers. Brilliant idea to do stripers with gel polish, because like it just beats using palettes and tiny little brushes. I mean, I still do that when necessary, but these stripers are fantastic. So just going in with that white down the center of the nail. I will touch that white up later as a last step to kind of clean it up so it's nice and sharp, but I wanted to just basically get the center line of each of these three nails. So on the pinky, we're going for more of a triangle shape, obviously because it's a stiletto nail. I kind of want the colors to kind of end at the tip versus coming off the sides, you know what I mean? But for the other two fingers, nothing crazy, just taking that sage kind of green and getting it as close to the white as possible and not making it super thick, because we're going to add an additional color on either side of the white stripe. This is a color changing sage green, and it's super, super gorgeous at this point. I think it turns like neon yellow or something like that. This is a not a glow in the dark, it's a color change, like a thermal, and it totally messed with us as I had her curing in between each color, especially the orange that we're going to use. Oh my gosh, like you're going to see in the video, but thank God it goes back with cool temperatures, and now that it's, you know, fall, kind of winter, we're going to have that set be the color that it's supposed to. But anytime my client puts her hands in warm water, it's going to change to these crazy neon colors. So definitely be cautious if you're going to be using color change products and you don't really like the color that they change to. You don't want the client to get stuck with some nails that kind of stay in this space that they don't really like. But just going in with this deeper green, I can't tell you what set it's from, but I'll just link all of the gel polish liner sets that I've purchased recently, and you can kind of figure it out from there. But the sage green, or as in the lighter green, was color change. This deeper green and the white are not. And then on the other side, we're going to go in with some like rusty oranges, totally appropriate for fall. I'm having the client cure in between each color just to make sure that I don't blend them, and then I can get a clean application. All right, working with the other side of the white now. This is a color changing orange, and at this point you can see it's kind of like a, I wouldn't say it's like a bright orange, it's kind of like a muted kind of regular orange, and we thought it was so pretty, especially for this set for fall, just really gorgeous. This, when cured, turns into a neon glow-in-the-dark yellow. It is insane. Totally freaked us out, but we got it back to the normal color that we wanted it to be. I'm just making sure to make the lines as thin and as straight as possible. In order to kind of steady my hand, I'm using my pinky as a fulcrum, or kind of like a base to kind of hold on to, so that I can figure out how to apply light pressure and kind of just let the striper do its job. You don't want to kind of do tiny little strokes to get that line. The liner is a nice long brush. Just place it and just drag it down, as you see I'm doing right here. I'm not doing too much. After this, I'm gonna have the client cure, and you're gonna see how crazy this color changes in just a second. So look at what the nails look like. So when she took her hand out, we kind of panicked. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, oh no, I didn't know if it was gonna revert back, but it totally does. So we decided to just continue. I'm using more of a rusty kind of brown orange just to cap it off. And it looks strange at this point, but I'm going to show you how it reverts back in just a second. But the same thing, do the striping, have the client cure, and then we'll come back to the color changing fixing problem. So here are the nails in the colors that they're not supposed to be. I'm going to spray her down with some cold alcohol, and you're going to see how fast they change back to where they're supposed to. So the neon yellow is gone, and this is what the colors should look like. Deep olive green to sage green to white to like a light orange to the deep rust kind of orange. And then, because this client loves a geometric nail, we're going in with a black gel polish liner. Thank goodness it doesn't change colors or do anything strange, because I just couldn't handle it. It was so scary, and I'm just honestly winging it. Like, this was not in the inspo at all, but I just felt like the black was necessary to kind of ground these colors so that they don't just look like floating colors on this, you know, really pretty nude base. So I'm just drawing these vertical and horizontal lines randomly. I'm filling in like random black boxes. I'm gonna add dots, just building up this random geometric pattern on the nails with the striping. I can't really describe it to you, just making sure that I'm using a super thin brush, so wiping off the excess gel polish from the tip of this striper as much as possible, and then just using, as you can see, I've got my pinky based on my other finger, so I can use really light pressure to get these really thin and straight lines. If you make a mistake, just, it's gel polish, you can wipe off. I am notoriously bad at not doing that, so you're gonna see me going from one finger to the next, but it was fine. This client stood still or sat still, and we didn't have any issues. But if you're a wobbly hand client, or just you're not sure what you want to do, it's always good to just flash cure, lock down what you like, so that you don't have to redo the whole thing. But yep, just taking this black gel polish liner and just building up this really cool geometric design. As you can see, I don't even really know what I'm doing at this point, but it came out great. And after wrapping up these lines, I decided to go in and I was like, we need some dots. So I took some black gel polish and I'm just adding with my tiniest dotting tool 2 dots to every single nail. And it seems like silly, like, oh, it's not a big deal, but I thought it was cool and it just kind of added to the geometric vibes. And as you can see, the nails are definitely the wrong color. I'm having her cure here, but they do revert as like I showed you in the previous clip. And on these solid fingers, we're just gonna add 2 dots, one, you know, large size and one super tiny one right at the cuticle. This is my version of like adding black rhinestones because this client is not a rhinestone fan, to that portion of the nail. And I loved it. I think it just added exactly what it needed. You already know, going in with my matte top coat, there was no way we could do this glossy. It just is so beautiful for fall. And we just wanted it to stand out with a super matte, just smooth velvety finish. We did have the idea to do the nails matte and then go over the black with glossy, but at this point we were both tired and we were just kind of like, you know what, next time. But that would have been really cool too. But yep, just applying this matted from not polish, making sure to clean my sidewalls and then have the client cure for 1 minute, and basically we're done. So here we go with your shot. These nails are so pretty, and you're actually seeing the colors that they are in regular temperature. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you like this one. Like if you like, subscribe for more. Check out the rest of my videos, and I'll see you in the next one.